Lagos is changing, and the change begins with how we plan and build our city. At the stakeholders meeting organized by the Lagos State Physical Planning Permit Authority with the theme Planning Permit Rebirth, experts and policymakers discussed key issues: compliance with planning regulations, use of technology in monitoring development, professional responsibilities, and urban regeneration for slum reduction. These conversations affect every developer, homeowner, and citizen. Stay tuned, watch to the end, and discover how together we can build a more compliant and livable Lagos.
Just for about 2 to 3 minutes, 3 minutes max. And we will go 2 rounds. After the 2 rounds, they will also give us their parting shots. And after that, there will be the questions and answers that will be thrown to the general audience. I will start first by giving a little background, a snippet on the issue at stake, that is the planning permit, the rebirth. Yeah. I jotted down very small thing here just to whet our appetite about what we are discussing about. A planning permit, it's a legal document or instrument granted by a regulator. And in this case, we are talking about the government, ministries, departments, and agencies. And here we are talking, because planning permit is not only limited to LASPPPA. Ministry of Physical Planning, the parent body, also grants what is known as planning permit, particularly in the areas of layout and any other matters that can come their way. It is a kind of a permission that's being granted to carry out a development or even a use of a piece of land in a specific location. So therefore, it is a process that is premised on certain statutory requirements that must accompany an application or a requirement for the permit. Now, if you want us to connect this with the rebirth that we are talking about, just like the first 2 speakers have mentioned, what qualifies this is just the word. We suggest that there is a need to improve. There is a need to revitalize something that's probably maybe going down the drain or needs to actually halt their task. There is a need to transform. There is a need to regenerate, restore, rejuvenate, or even resurrect the whole process of planning permits to make it more current, sustainable, compliable, inviting, and reasonably acceptable to the members of the public who usually seek for these permits. So, having heard this or set the pace, we have listened to the 2 speakers, and we have seen that they are actually touched on various forms of a permit in terms of a permit as a legislative, for a legislative reform, for a policy reform, for processes reform, for capacity building, that is enforcement and improvement in the people, as well as the technical aspect of the planning permit. So, let me quickly ask from the reader. I guess, right, Mr. Okwe? Okay. Okay. What would be your expectations from the rebirth that we are talking about? The planning permit, the rebirth, what will be your expectation moving forward?
Thank you very much. Hello, everybody. Regarding the rebirth, it's a welcome development. It's something that will revolutionize the industry. Gone are the days where you put in an approval and you're waiting a year or 2 years in certain cases if you don't have the requirements. So by this being done by LASPPPA, what this has done essentially is to enable sanitize the industry itself, bring stakeholders in, which is why I appreciate this forum itself. What it does is it gives us an avenue to be able to open up the sector, and to build the mega city that Lagos State is looking for and have pitched. What we think about this rebirth also is in putting things together and trying to enforce certain things, it's essential to look at where mistakes have been made and the ability to be able to correct those mistakes and put forward the ability to make changes that will change the industry itself.
Okay, thank you. Prof, a lot of people do not know your background. They didn't know that you started as assistant planner before heading to lecturing. How powerful, sir, is planning permits can be in the view of a legislation, socio-political, economic, and environmental? How powerful can we say planning permits should be?
Thank you so much. We've had a lot of things this morning, and I'm believing that at the end of today, we should be able to go home with something. As far back as 1970, my grandmother obtained building approval before she could build 4-room house. Before the approval came, she dared not move to the site. And I kept on wondering the level of sanity that someone, because in the lifetime of any human being, the one most expensive investment decision is to put up a house. And I don't know how someone could risk putting up such investment that require much capital outlay without getting approval, without getting planning permit. From the rational point of view, I find it very difficult to understand. But those who do that, they are acting out of ignorance, and they are changing themselves. Because your real estate investment is your future. And if you don't have approval, you don't have necessary documents. It's not that house, it's the interest, it's the approval that you have that makes that house to be that house, that puts value on that asset. But unfortunately, many of us in this part of the world, we still see a house, as De Soto said, that we still see a lake as only limited to fishing and washing clothes. But that same lake that you fish and wash clothes, in other parts of the world, they've introduced turbine that generates electricity and brings so much wealth. But As long as you see it as a lake, there's very little you can get from it than to swim and wash clothes. If you have a house, I've seen so many people dying poor, despite the fact that they have a 4 flat. A 4 flat without approval, without CFO, without title. Like De Soto said, it's a dead capital. And that's why many people are poor, yet they are rich. Many people in this part of the world, they were richer than most people in America and UK. Because they have, as they own their houses. But unfortunately, because they don't have necessary documentation, they could not create wealth on the basis of that which they have. So it's actually, if we value what we have, that it is not that house, that having access to that house is a secured vision in terms of wealth generation and generating subsequent wealth. It's a powerful tool. It's a powerful tool. If you want to market your real estate today, if you tell anyone that it has approval, it has necessary documentation, the value increases. So we are challenging ourselves.
Thank you, Prof.
By not having that document.
Thank you, Prof. Madam. Moving forward, what do you think you should be thinking in planning permits? Moving forward, we should be thinking.
Thank you. I'll be thinking in terms of any building you want to construct, how live, how real can you make it? Would it be sustainable? Many buildings, let me take an example of Lagos Island. When Redan began some of the, is it Arredos or so, these real estate developments, and they were developing houses on Lagos Island. And most of the developers saying 30 years lease agreement for such lands. I was just out of the universities practicing. But I knew those buildings, most will not exceed 10 years because they did not build right. Apart from permits, the materials that they were using to construct all those buildings were not good. They didn't check it. The building, the families that owns those buildings, they didn't understand that their investment, which is the land, and the buildings as tall as they are, will not last any time. So, 12, 15 years after most of those buildings were constructed, you've seen all sorts of problems arising from them. And they need rebuilding now.
Okay, thank you, madam. Yes. Tampran Abdul. Sir, the last lead speaker spoke about streamlining multi-agencies as a precursor to the process of a planning permit. How do we get physical planning permit out of this logjam?
Thank you very much. First of all, let us see the situation where you have the surveyors, the land officers, they are the one preparing layouts and cutting plots, doing a lot of subdivisions. Even you will see within government estates, they do some subdivisions, you found out that the total width of that particular plot is not more than 6 meters. When the planning regulation, as per the 1986 law of Lagos State, says you must have minimum of 3 meters on either side. And if it's a substandard plot, you will have 3 meters and 1.6 meters at one side. At the end of the day, what you will be granting approval for will be a building not up to 3 meters in width. And they will tell you they are going to use the whole ground floor for parking spaces. At the end of the day, they will build wall to wall. So from the start, you are having this law. Really, there's no synergy. There's not supposed to be any subdivision or anything for that matter without the input of the Ministry of Physical Planning and Urban Development. That is where we are having majority of the problems.
Thank you, sir. I will come back to it, sir. I don't know if I give you the whole day, you will speak on this. Mrs. Bigdabaye, okay. Ministry of Physical Planning has 2 deliverables to the members of the public when it comes to planning permit or permission. Is physical planning permit from the LASPPPA and letter of authorization, or simply authorization to start or to commence a construction and do staging. What in specific terms are the relationships that exist between LASPPPA and LAPCA?
Thank you very much, sir. The existing tax that exists between LASPPPA and LAPCA concerning planning permits even starts from the screening of the drawing. The architectural drawing is being screened by Lagos State Building Control Agency. The architects, the engineer, and the mechanical, the structural engineers, they screen the drawing, preparing it for the approval. And there is a caveat on the approval that before you commence any construction work, you go to LAPCA to obtain an authorization letter before you commence. Because a lot of people, you might have applied for your permit and decide not to construct, but the application is written boldly there that before you start, you must go to LAPCA and make an application for authorization to commence construction work. And also, once you have the authorization, you are to stage every part of the construction from the setting out to ensure that the approval that you are granted is what you have on ground. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Town planner number 1 in Lagos State by Choprek. Town planner Ogunlewe. The new trend in Lagos in town planning is that for screening is usually screened by LAPCA. Do you want to say, or do you believe that there is kind of that mutual synergy between those who screens for the processes of permit in Lagos State? If yes, what can we do to better that position? If no, what can we still do to improve on that situation? Over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. We have synergy on paper, not on the practical aspect of it. Because the officer to screen, his loyalty is with the LAPCA. And they have a lot of activities to embark upon. So you discover that for a plan to be screened, it might take another 1 or 2 weeks or 3 or 4 days before an applicant can get his plan screened. This is the basic truth. And for us to move forward, because the officer has a lot of other assignments that needs to be carried out within the LAPCA scheme of work. But a way forward, maybe they need to get some of these officers residing with LASPPPA as their major function, not a dual function, either working with LAPCA and working with LASPPPA. They should have some officers working directly under the offices of LASPPPA, so that the exercise will be seamless and it will reduce timeline for screening process. Thank you.
Thank you. Please. Town Planner Badejo from Atopcom. Do you have any additions that you can make to the last two speakers moving forward, helping the members of the public to get to their work, to get to the work done quickly, because of the public or applicant has a plan to when to start building construction, having secured a planning permit? What do you want to say to this issue of after looking for non-professional town planners to screen project drawings before the planning permit could be actually processed and secure the permit eventually? What can you say about this?
Yeah, thank you, the moderator. To me, these are very easy and straightforward things if we want to be very sincere to ourselves. In the sense that I see no reason why an application cannot be screened the same day unless the officer is not on seat. But even there, if the officer is not on seat, there should be a maximum time that must be given to each district office or the district officer, that you don't expect someone to come all the way from Ikodu to maybe Ikeja or Victoria or Etiosa just to get his application screen, and unfortunately the officer is not on seat, yet he will go back. Maybe for one reason or that, any other officer that's available should be able to do it. Any officer that's available should be able to do it. Because time is money. Most of these applications, they are based on bank loan. Most applications that are coming up, because the bank said they want to see the permit, they don't want to risk their money, and when they come, they are not finding the officer, like he said, for a week, 2 weeks. That's a lot of time.
Okay. Okay, sir. We will come back. Town Planner Abu, you once a director with LASPPPA. Please tell us how we can improve information and communication, particularly when it comes to giving out information pre-town planning permit process.
Thank you.
So that people can quickly know where they are going, what it entails about planning process, planning permit process. What do you think we can do? Are we saying that it is okay as it is now, or is there any way we can improve upon what is happening now?
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everybody present. That's a good, because we are talking about the year rebirth, and we are always talking about reforms. I think part of the reform is what we are still doing today. Stakeholder engagement, giving information to people. However, LASPPPA to date they have done a lot of things to make sure that this information on planning or as LASPPA, based on their function, through media chat, they have been doing that a lot, through jingles, even the roadshow they did during the week is part of the information telling people that they need to take permit before they start construction works. Not only that, they have even done a lot of pamphlets that they can distribute to people that that contains information about LASPPA, the documents they need to supply in terms of the what we call it, the list of documents to be supplied before they can be granted approval. Then what to be done. Give information about the title, the documents rather. What I'm saying now is that the title, the survey, architectural drawing, all encompassing, so that by the time you are even coming to the town planning offices, you are equipped with this document, so that your planning approval process.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Let me give it to Town Planner Badejo. Town Planner Badejo, the online information of LASPPA, will you say it is adequate enough or sufficient enough and transparent enough for members of the public to rely upon?
Yes, absolutely, yes. I would say relatively they are good enough. But the same thing, the other side of the coin is that to what extent is it being used? I mean, to what extent that when you bring your document or your application for processing, that you will not be asked to go and do other things. And that's exactly where I feel that, honestly, this bat is it's already on. Let's don't miss any word about it. In the sense that the EPP that was created at the headquarters, I'm telling you, is noble. And credit should be given to them for that. Because there is no day, even if you go to the headquarters, there's hardly any of the 52 district offices that is not having representation at the headquarters. And with that, you can easily get the information you want. And even if the district officer of a particular district office is not there, you can easily see another person that will attend to you. And that's why it says noble. And we should latch on that and make sure that the members of the public, why can't the same thing be done at other district office? But we say you go to a
thank you. Town Planner, in your own view, what can you refer to or what can you say should be significant parameters for consideration for planning permits?
Thank you. Now that the issue of pre-screening is the main thing, I believe once your plan has been pre-screened, the architect in quote has already approved your drawing, your architectural drawing, and the engineer cleared, I believe, and once they've started and the zoning is in line, under 2 days you have your approval. Under 2 days, you should be able to get your approval,
barring all other requirements.
Once, when you talk about, before the pre-screening, the architecture has been screened, your survey is clear, site inspection has been made before the pre-screening. So the issue of resources, natural or artificial, have been cleared.
Okay.
They've already charted your application. Okay. In that case, you should just go for your approval straight away. While the issue of, apart from sending it to, these days, you have to file, going for account clearance. Once the application has been cleared from the account office, then they should not, the way they are doing now, send a letter to the applicant, your approval have been granted, let them begin to sort out the issue of tax, which is another dimension entirely that we also need to even discuss at this platform now.
Thank you. Bill, for the benefit of this audience,
Yes, sir.
what are the roles of certified accredited professional in the scheme of things of this permit we are discussing?
Thank you very much, sir. The roles of the certified accreditors is still the oversight functions of Lagos State Building Control Agency, the same function that we come out with in Lagos State Building Control Agency from screening. The government have
They will be screening.
they will be screening all drawings.
Tell
We
us the category
The process.
of what they will be screening.
They will be screening the architectural drawing, the structural drawing, the mechanical, the electrical drawings. We also have town planners among the accreditors too. But basically, they will be screening the architectural drawing, the structural drawing, and also to make the system seamless, we have 130 accreditors already that has been accredited by Lagos State Building Control Agency. And also they will be going out for stage inspection and monitoring.
The same cap?
Yes, sir.
Then what will be the job of the
It's
government officials?
a synergy between the private sector and the public sector, sir.
Sorry, I asked for clarity.
Yes, sir.
What type of designs, or in terms of flaws, in terms of the complexity of the drawings, what type would they be looking at? Are we saying that your own architect, mechanical engineers, and so will not be doing that again?
We'll be doing it together, sir, because we want to fast track the system as my discussants have said just now. Okay. We need the system to be seamless, and we want the system to go easy. That is why we have them. You know, the capacity wasn't there before now. Before the government brought in the certified accreditors, the capability, we have it. But to increase the labor force, that is why the government has engaged the certified accreditors. They are professionals from the public, from the private sector.
From what level of floors would they be?
All levels of floors.
From ground floor?
Yes, from ground floors.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. That's what I want to know. Okay.
Thank you. Please.
Yes.
Can I just...
You want to say something?
Yes.
Okay, sir.
Before any of my question. First of all, I have a senior colleague here in person of Town Planner Yusuf. And luckily, I was privileged to work with Lagos State for over 38 years. Because I was recalled back after my initial retirement in 2013, and I stayed in 2016. I'm lucky to be the general manager of LASPPPA. All these files being sent to LAPCA is an aberration. While I was the GM, I fought this issue. I took it to the head of service, to Ministry of Works, to Housing. At that particular time, we have technical service department within LASPPPA, headed by engineers, and we have engineers, architects. Electrically, it was when I was the general manager. We have electrical engineers, mechanical engineers, and other engineers posted to LASPPPA, and they are in charge of the technical service department. And they have offices in our district, and they have representatives in our district offices. The moment a consultant submits his drawing, the town planner first of all do the vetting, because there are a lot of things you have to look into. Not the detailed engineering drawing, you have to look at the spaces and other regulations. It passes to the architect vet, the engineers do it. All these things were done within 24, 48 hours. But immediately I left because of the problems, because people want to grab power. And that has to do with what my guest lecturer today, one of the things he mentioned about, and that's Tampanononeye. Now grabbing some of these things, the next thing I learned was that they just scrapped the Technical Service Department in that LASPPA, and they transferred all the responsibility to LABCA. What is the main function of LABCA? Is it setting of building plans or approving?
Thank you, sir. We will come back to that, sir. Prof. No. I want to ask you this question. As a neutral in this regard, well, because you are in the UNILAG and you are in the project construction management experts, what do you think LABCA and LASPPA should be doing? I'm not sure whether you are very privy to the laws, town planning law, or the regulation of the two agencies.
Yes.
Let me give you the picture.
No, let me say, it's a Nigerian problem.
Okay.
In UK today, we have Commonwealth of Surveyors. We have the surveyors. And in UK today, when they say Association of Surveyors, the county surveyors were there, the land surveyors are there, the SA surveyors are there. But in Nigeria, it was broken into 3. So that we have 3 presidents. But in Britain, where many of them were trained, they were under one body. All this fragmentization is becoming a liability.
On even who?
You see, this thing is not government people. On the entire nation.
Yes.
On the society. You see, a decision was taken not long ago. Together with Department of Architecture, we've always been one faculty, environmental science.
Yes.
But today, architecture is a standalone faculty to the detriment of those students. How can you train architect in isolation? Nothing to do with town planner, county surveyor, other people in built environment. But this is the way quite other parts of the world were coming together. We kept on breaking and putting walls. It's right time. You see, why this problem? We are Yoruba state. Only Amukureru. Olówó. Amúkùn sọ pé ẹrù lẹ̀ ń wò, ìsàlẹ̀ ní kẹ́ wò, ó ti wọ́ láti ìsàlẹ̀. Those who are breaking what used to be one. I did my industrial training at Ilukweju and Bira Avenue. Town planning used to be one body. But because of the need, we felt that when we break it, we have better performance. But it's not helping. It's not helping. And what we have to address is, do we have this problem of people not even having permit in other parts of the world? It's a Nigerian problem. It's like sickle cell. It's like Ebola. Sickle cell is African problem. Fibroid is a Nigerian problem. Fibroid is not in Ghana. It's a white man. They culture it and gave us to regulate our population. It's this problem of individual going to obtain approval. It's only in Nigeria. And as long as individuals are going, there is no way create 1 million organization. They will be overwhelmed. Commissioner, when Kabiyesi Bola Olawa was commissioner for housing. He was mooting the idea to put an end to individual getting approval. Let approval be in estate, in neighborhood. As long as individual, we are dealing of 20 million people, and we say by 2030 will be 30 million. There is no way we can serve individual approval. We must sit down beyond this meeting, because this is what we still have to contend with.
That is the problem of having a layout.
That's it. Have a layout, a professional in charge of a neighborhood, and this goes to, because you said you will give me the opportunity again. Let me say this with sincerity. Lagos today, 70% of Lagos land is slum. 1992, 40 slums were identified. But we are told today that the slum has increased to 200 plus. When 70% of our land, and when you look at this slum, they were on prime locations. It is responsibility of, call it LASPPA, call it LASCA, not to just concentrate on the new construction that is coming. How do we clean our mess? Because the slum is a majority, is the integral part of our society. And unfortunately, the agency that is responsible for this is detached from the office of the Commissioner for Physical Planning. So the whole thing is pieces into pieces. Nobody is looking at Lagos holistically. No one is in charge. Someone is in charge of new builds. Another person is in charge of new town. Another person is in charge of waterfront. All these were fragmentized. It can't work.
Thank you, Prof.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Mr. Okwe?
Can I say something to what Prof just added?
I thought I shouldn't have to, but now that we mentioned it.
This just shows to everyone here what we have to deal with. At every project, we more or less have, as Prof said earlier, and the Honorable said, more than 13 agencies to deal with. So my daily life, in trying to execute what I do, I have to deal with so many other problems that I see at this table. For us, understanding the process is number one. Number two, we feel like a revenue target is on us every day. You know, the cost of doing approvals, you know, the cost of, you know, when LABCA comes to do their inspections, you know, in a week, we can have more than 3 or 4 agencies come through, everybody popping in. And I think Honorable said it earlier, the show of force when they come to our sites, you know, watching this discourse here just gives me, you know, déjà vu, because this is what I see. It's almost like it's disjointed. You know, you look at it holistically and you're like, is somebody not controlling this thing? You know, one set of people come for something, another set of people come for, well, it's meant to be one unit.
Okay, I will stop you there. I understand what you are talking about. Madam, I learned that you are from the Lagos State Material Testing Laboratory.
Yes, please.
What do you think can add value from material testing to physical planning permit process?
We're already in the synergy. Basically, as of now,
is there any codes? Are there things in terms of technicalities that we should be thinking about?
Let me
the LABCA will also.
Let me explain. There is already a synergy between the 3 of us.
Okay.
That's LASPPA, LABSCA, and material testing. And again, I would want to use that to explain the way the public is seeing us, that we come differently. Very soon it will be like a one-stop shop thing. But you know, before the system is perfected, there will still be those gray areas. We're still checking. We're going to be unifying a lot of our activities. Maybe not too soon, but very soon. Do you understand? But we are working in synergy.
Okay, thank you.
LASPPPA is the first point of call. But what you have is the citizens are not sincere. They are not full of integrity. People will pretend under the fact that they don't know what to do. And I'm sorry, I'm not going to excuse anybody from this. You are a property owner, you are a developer. You can't just move in on any land to start building because an architect or your own team have done the design. It is wrong. You won't do it in any other client, no matter who you are. But what you see happening here is the public wants the government to rectify whatever they've done. And they keep blackmailing civil servants into doing that.
All right. Now, let me give it to her. You are having a parting shot, but at the same time, I'm going to give you something that you need to talk about, then your parting shot.
Okay.
And I'm going to give you just only 2 minutes to finish off. I found that in our discussion, we have never spoken about technology. What is your view about technology? What is your parting shot?
Thank you very much. We need deployment of technology to make this thing work. Now, what we are doing in LSMTL, most of our reports now is sent out to clients online. Now, it helps the wastages of time, the human interface. But you see, even at that, people try to doctor the originalities of things. But very soon, I'm sure, when you drop your drawing online with LASPPPA, I'm sure almost at the same time, LASPPPA will be getting. At the same time, LSMTL will be getting. And other relevant agencies
will key into those.
Will key into it. So it's going to help these bottlenecks that you are saying. And when you don't build right, then you see the collectiveness of the government agencies coming as a team.
That's your parting shot. Thank you. Please.
So with my parting shots, and this is an appeal.
Technology first.
Technology. Okay. I would, in an ideal world, and it's been written, and I've seen some of the presentations, automation of the system. I want to be able to put my approval in and be able to go with real-time updates. It will be ready on this day.
Which type of automation? Partial or full?
Full automation. Full automation. I don't want a situation where I have to call somebody before I know the progress of what's happening with my approval. I want to be able to log on to their portal and see where I'm going. I'll give you one example. A friend of mine building, the person in charge and I was helping him with his approval passed away. And all of a sudden, no paperwork, no background, nobody knew what. District head couldn't help.
It won't happen in automation.
Yes, we pray when that comes on board. He literally had to start all over again. Okay. So technology will go a long way to actually improve and ease the system itself.
Moving forward.
Moving forward.
Prof.
Yeah, moving forward. Technology will help us because if you are used to AI,
yes,
you know that life has been simplified if you have competency to use AI. And the commissioner, the governor, in the comfort of their house, of their office, they can monitor. The whole world is under government. So we can really leverage on technology. And I know that LASPPPA is doing that. They are working on all this e-planning permit process. I agree. Like I said, my grandmother built a 4-room mud house, 1991-92, 1971-72. But she didn't dig the foundation until approval came from Ijebu-Ode. So, building without approval should be made a criminal offense. No, it should be a criminal offense because if you drive without MOT, you can kill just 2 people inside your car. But if a house should collapse, many people will die. So we should pay attention to BOT, the building code. It's already there. Let Lagos State domesticate it and use it. But I am begging. I'm begging. That's why I attend this program. I'm a professor of urban regeneration. My desire is to leave this world with little slum. Slum is not a cancer. Every slum in Lagos today is gold. Parkview is the other side of water. The other side of Parkview is Oworoshoki. Land in Parkview today, 500 million, 1 billion. Other side of the same water, you can get land for 50 million. Why is the property in Parkview so valuable? Because there is planning, there is infrastructure. Every day that we leave our slum unattended to is like gas flaring in the Niger Delta. We are burning wealth. But the solution, like I said in a forum last week, the solution is not demolition. Demolition is a lazy approach to urban issue. We need in the next 5 or 10 years. I am a town planner. I started my life as a town planning student. There were ways they told us in urban regeneration, urban renewal. It's not every slum that will do total clearance. They taught us slum upgrading. They taught us community participation. Oworoshoki, Ijorabadia. These are people we sit down together. It's a win-win. This today demolition, tomorrow demolition is an embarrassment. It's an indictment of professional failure on the part of planners. And I kept on telling my colleagues, when Ebola broke out, when COVID broke out, they were the medical personnel that rescued this nation. Rescue this nation of this filthy environment is the responsibility of every one of us that pride ourselves as town planners. I don't want to die as a town planner, leaving 70% of Lagos area as slum. It's a responsibility. At lower level, at ministry level, at professional level, we must come together.
Thank you.
Because this, if I present my slide, Ilasan, we did regeneration program for Ilasan. Ilasan slum is sitting on 60 hectares. 20 hectares is enough to resettle the people. We came with a proposal. 20 hectares is enough to resettle the people. 10 hectares for political settlement. 30 hectares for the developer that will resettle and redevelop the place. 30 hectares, we put the value 5 years ago at 90 billion naira. Those land are on prime land. Oroshoki is on prime land. Mushi is on prime land. The land value is enough to do the regeneration without government spending 1 kobo. It's social re-engineering. It's financial re-engineering.
Sorry, Prof. I think we have more time than this. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Sir.
Still on. What I will say concerning
A quick one, sir.
to move on, there's no gain saying that you have to go with the technology, the AI and all these things. And if you could look at some countries or some cities, they've been able to advance because of technology. You can look at the Johannesburg example, the Barcelona that has a urban lab, the London system, to the extent that even apart from having GIS and all these things, they decide to use the carrot stick, that even by the time you see a particular developer, if you know that this particular developer has been complying fully, by the time he submits his applications, if they give him rebate on fees to be paid,
Your final
all
thought.
these things can still go.
Your final thought on
And
today's-
again, personally, Mr. Honorable Commissioner, sir, please, you have to allow me. I'm really happy for some of the strides you have been making concerning capacity building and others. Some weeks ago, I sent a text to you, and you told me you are in Liverpool, where you were able to sponsor some of my colleagues for training. And I found that that was not the first time. You and your permanent secretary and management, I'm saying good. But it is not enough yet. The Templar here mentioned the issue of funding. There's no funding in planning. In a situation where you have district offices, where your officers there are no more than 2 or 3 professionals, and they still go about, apart from their assignment, to be preparing development plans. It's an aberration. We have the local planning department, LPD department in LASPPPA. We have another department in the ministry that are saddled with that responsibility. If we have enough funding, those offices are supposed to be preparing those skills. And when I was general manager of LASPPPA, I was getting funds, and they were preparing schemes. I did not transfer that responsibility to the district offices. Already they are overwhelmed. At the end of the day, they cannot do anything good. When we still talk of funding too, I found out about a month ago, there's this public service accelerator program where about 100 civil servants, middle level, I think level 10 to 13, were trained on capacity management and all these things. I'm not sure, and I don't know how many town planners were involved. If they are fully involved, I'm sure they should have been able to prepare something that should be among the first 10. Because at that particular gathering, I watched it, about 10 of those reports were highlighted, and the state government decided they are going to implement 1 or 2 of those 2 reports. I don't know everything.
Thank you, sir.
So when you talk of capacity building, please. And finally, sir, you have been trying the issue of the capacity and other thing. You have to make your officers happy. I'm sorry, sir, if you see them laughing, they are not happy. I too, I am not happy. You can, when you want a better praise from people or from your officers, they have to be happy. When your officers are working, majority of my colleagues there, they cannot presently, can they rise more than directorship? That is not the peak in the civil service. It is bad.
Okay.
What is wrong with our town planners?
That is one is noted. It is a
What
child.
is wrong? No, not just our town planners. You have an idea. There was a report that town planners have become town planner general, that is permanent secretary. Every time it is being swept under the table. Do you think they are happy? No, sir. So, and in Lagos, you can only plan well You can only get a better result if the officers that is going to marshal and is going to do these things, they are happy. If they are not happy, they know that they cannot rise to that particular post. They can never become PAMSEC. They can never become head of SASI because of some personal interest. They are now being used and dumped. They will never be happy. You will never have the best of them. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Builder, madam, just give us. I don't know whether you have concurred with all the things they mentioned about the technology. If you are concurred, just go straight to your parting shots for this audience.
LAPCA have also embraced technology. All our notices, we have the QR code there where you can scan and it will take you to our website. And also the certified accreditors, all the ID cards, once you scan it, it will take you to the district, it will take you to our website and tell you all about the information. So, moving forward on rebate, to me, I think there is a gap that we need to fill.
Okay.
The gap between LAPCA and LASPA, and a lot of residents in Lagos, they are making use of this gap. If we want to have a rebate, there should be a synergy, as my general manager have said. It is needed. The person that screens the drawings or stage, it should be a synergy. See something, say something, and do something about it is needed. My parting shot on rebate of the stakeholders, it should be a collective responsibility for us all. The government officials, the Gaussians, the professionals, the artisans. It should be a collective responsibility for us to have a rebate. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Before the next person speaks, I've been looking through the newspaper at least for once. Yes. Your website, the members of the public needs to have the list of all these CAP people and the areas of their coverage, so that when you see it, we know who and who that will undo their screening. Thank you.
All right, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, Mr. Moderator, my parting shot. One, now that the...
How many are you giving?
3.
Okay,
now
please,
that the accreditors have been approved and in operation, I'm believing that most of these architects and engineers within LAPCA should be redeployed back to LASPA for smooth operation.
Thank you.
That is one.
Yeah.
Number 2, the ministry, they've done a lot on sensitization, prints of handbill. I believe now they should go into the print media to identify some of these zero tolerant area, no development zone, so that the public will be aware. They will not waste their money to buy and begin to look for a way to develop. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. Within the print media, ministry should go on the print media to list out and mark out those areas that no development zone area.
Okay.
So that public will not go there to buy and be looking for a way to develop. Number 3, the public planners also should begin to speak with one voice. It is germane. When in the course of plan preparation, most of these MDA were invited to submit their interest and their program. Why then do we need to go for drainage clearance again, if all this information have been submitted and have been included in the plan that has been prepared?
Thank you. Mr. President, Atoko.
Okay, thank you. Let me first of all address technology.
Yes.
Where we want to go automation, we should get it right. Land bureau is now automated. They call it momentum. When you go there, you know the problem members of the public are facing. When we want to go for technology, we should just get it right and not try and error.
What are you saying, sir?
That is, we should use the best, maybe with the website that we need. Who is ever going to design the website must be very seamless and easy.
What is happening? What is happening in lands? Is this simplest, easy?
Of course, they are the ones using it. They know that. In most cases, they cannot access it. It's either that the network is down, or they keep on. Maybe when you use a very low quality width band for your information, and hundreds of information wants to go in, of course, it's going to be jam-packed. You cannot get it right. It's just going to be rolling and rolling. And at the end of the day, you will go back to analog or physical. So we should just get it right. That's my saying. Now,
your parting shots, quickly.
My parting shots.
There is no time.
Yeah, my parting shots are based on the feeders that I got from my members. When I got this letter, I posted it to our platform. That what do you want? And one of the things they said are these: one, there should be a review of the tax regime. That is endless. I can't do. That's one. Number two,
list them. Don't expand.
Yes, I'm just going to list them. I'm going to go into the detail. Number two, that the assessment we are asking now is
three
high. That then the most important, that doing assessment in retrospect, it is social injustice. It's social injustice. It's not fair. Someone submitted his application 5 years ago. He's paying 500,000. You ask him to come and pay 15 million now. It's not fair.
You mean incumbent plan already in?
Yes, 5 years ago, 6 years ago.
Running?
Still running.
Just to complete it?
Just to complete it.
And they said they should be reviewed?
I'm going to go and pay the new assessment.
I do agree too. Please, let's go on. Mr.
Scott, excuse me, what do you mean that you don't agree?
It's already in. Why must it be reviewed?
So that's it. That's the response that people from the platform.
Yes.
Then finally, what is the role of town planners in this rebate?
Yeah.
What role are we playing? Are we ready to key in? Is the ministry or LASPPPA ready to really accept suggestion from genuine suggestion from how to get it?
That is the essence of today's event.
That's it. Thank you.
Mr. Abu.
Thank you very much. I wrote some part of this.
We don't want too much. Just give us a list, maximum 4 or 5. You can send whatever you have as a memo to the LASPPPA General Manager.
All right.
Please.
On the way forward, more collaboration with MDAs. When I'm talking about MDAs, we are talking about the list as listed by the guest speaker. 2 is that LASPPPA should exploit the opportunity of appeals committee dealing with recalcitrant developers. 3, then the monitoring compliance unit of LASPPPA should be decentralized to strengthen their performance. Number 4, then LASPPPA, to my understanding, is the third generating agency to the government. Their offices, they don't have a befitting offices.
Thank you. You definitely relay the others to the General Manager.
Exactly.
I want to thank the panelists for your time well spent here, and for what we will be able to. I have told that. Sir, can we have 1, 2, 3 from the? Just 3 people, just 3. Yes, 2. I should have 2. Okay, sir. No, I will ask from you, sir, and you, sir, Ajayi, and when you listen to her. Okay, all right. That madam in blue. That madam in blue.
Okay.
Thank you. I'm not going to start any protocol. I will start by saying that what are we doing about even the way we legislate? All these actions are regulated by laws and regulations. One of the problems is that some of us just sit down inside and do some things, and then we want to apply it to everybody. You are calling us now to discuss, but there are regulations, and I want to know what we are doing. The way we even make laws for planning is not really transparent, and we have to do something. Then the local authorities, local planning authorities, all over the world, except Nigeria, and particularly Lagos, we don't have local planning authorities. All that we are saying, we are just trying to deceive ourselves if we don't do the first thing first. We cannot be planning Lagos at the apex level in Lagos State. It has to go into local planning authorities. And also, we kind of dodge some of the responsibility that we have at hand. And some of us are being embarrassed. I'm a taxpayer. I pay my tax regularly. I make sure that I'm taxed and cleared by the state tax authorities. And then I want to get approval, and somebody say because I'm building in Lekki, I should go and pay 5 million. It doesn't make any sense. You don't call it tax. Call it building plan levy. It's aberration. Thank God there will be new reform in tax next year, and we will all be wise. And then I want to use this opportunity to thank the GM, LS, MTL. I'm thanking her. Actually, we sat together. I didn't know her this morning. But what she said is very right. When they wanted to inspect a property which I have some interest in, they just called the number. They didn't know who. And they said, where is the address? And that was it. They went there and they did the job, and I was informed of the result online without knowing the person that's going there, and I didn't call him. So I want to thank you. You have to keep it up. The same thing goes with another Amazon here. I had an issue about a plan, a building that was almost completed, and I was interpreting the law to mean authorization to commence, and there is no authorization to continue. And she really handled it very well to my satisfaction. No ceremony, nothing. Thank you very much. Finally, we should all also own to the fact that there are too many. Actually, the town planners, they are the one carrying all the problem relating to building, to anything in this area. And the town planners are not also ready to probably own up to say this burden is too much. If there is a problem relating to the mechanical, electrical, the drainage, even Ministry of Environment has come up with issue of environmental impact. Everybody will say it is town planner. It is town planner. And all other professionals, they are not ready. Actually, it's like they want to kill town planners. I've been in a meeting where even the chairman of that party said, yes, the building collapsed. They should find a way of making the town planner to be punished. I'm in that meeting. The chairman said so. And I said, if town planner has been the problem, so somebody mentioned the perception of the public. The perception is everything. Even when you don't pay your tax and you are being delayed your plan, it is because of town planner. So we should rise up, particularly my colleagues should rise up and also do something. We should not just behave as if we are beneficiaries or we are being favored. And I will just stop from this because there are a lot of areas that we need to look at, including ease of doing business. Nigeria is now improved, but ease of doing business is also being weighed down by construction permits. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much for this opportunity. Thank you for putting the stakeholder session together. It would like to see it to be more inclusive. It's quite restrictive that... I'm sorry? Okay, my name is Oluwa Shola Kotun. I'm a citizen of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and a resident of Lagos State. Like I was saying, thank you very much for putting this together. It's nice to be able to hear from everyone that's spoken from the morning. It started a little late. We'd like to see that be a culture that will be rebirthed, in Lagos State. The stakeholder session we're having should also allow the public to be able to ask more questions. So it was a little restrictive that only 2 questions are being accepted. On materials, there wasn't a lot of feedback given to us as to what's going to happen in terms of rebirth. What can we do in terms of sustainability? What can we do? What should we expect in terms of how the materials that are going to be used can improve? How can we lower costs? Those sorts of things. It would have been nice to hear that. I'm also hoping that we'll see a rebirth in culture at the district level. The way everything is running right now, the only time we experience some type of intellectual discourse is when we come to the secretariat circles. At the district level, it's still rather bullish. It can be a little bit aggressive. It doesn't feel friendly. I want to also use this opportunity to thank the GM of LASPPPA. There was a time I had a situation about 4 years ago. I walked into the office, I didn't have any issues. I have also had experiences with Bill Dagbaye at Lab Scout. So it works well at senior level, but at the district level, we're not sure whether, so when you say that there's a reaction by the public, it's because of the way the district level is handling things. They come with such attitude. They're not there to communicate any information. We would also like to see some improvements in terms of information dissemination. We're no longer in the military rule, so we shouldn't have our plans, our information buried in tables and only available to some privileged few. Information should be in the public domain. I think that's the beginning of technology. It doesn't have to be sophisticated. But when things are happening, put it out, let us see it, let us have opportunities to contribute to it, and I'm sure we will do that. So thank you very much for this opportunity to contribute.
Thank you, the last 2 speakers. I think what they have advised us or admonished us about, we definitely go into our archives, and the management, we definitely want to work on those things. Those are beautiful things, and Madam will also be assured that in the terms of my intercourse with the panelists, I actually ask for communication, transparency. These are one of the things I was expecting from them. I cannot speak for them. Thank God it's coming from the audience. I appreciate that very well. Thank you, panelists, for what you have been able to achieve so far. I also want to endeavor us for that. Anything you feel, Prof, former general manager, other colleagues, you can get it out in form of memo to the management. They will surely work on this, because apart from the communique that will be coming out after today's events, other things will still be awaited. And I also beg of other members of the audience to also do the same. Send your rejoinders to the general manager physical planning or even to the permanent secretary physical planning, and all this will reflect in the new dispensation moving forward. Thank you so far, and I want to thank you again. Thank you. God bless.
Let me. Our city. At the stakeholders meeting organized by the Lagos State Physical Planning Permit Authority with the theme Planning Permit Rebirth, expert and policymaker discussed key issues: compliance with planning regulations, use of technology in monitoring development, professional responsibilities, and urban regeneration for slum reduction. This conversation affects every developer, homeowner, and citizen. Stay tuned, watch to the end, and discover how together we can build a more compliant and livable Lagos. Every great city is built on order, vision, and compliance. The discussion at the Planning Permit Rebirth reminds us that responsibility to build right belongs to everyone, from professional to developer and property owners alike. Let's embrace planning regulation, support urban renewal, and make Lagos a city we can all be proud of. If you find this enlightening, don't stop here. Like, share, and subscribe to Cable Plus Property Media for more educative and inspiring content on land, planning, and development. Cable Plus Property Media, educating, guiding, and empowering.